Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about making a stream analytics for a channel that you enjoy watching that you want to help out a little bit. So briefly, what is it? So it's basically going to be a document that you're going to type out, very objectively, and you're going to say, when you do this, the stream thinks this way. Maybe they enjoy something you do, maybe they don't enjoy it. And it's not necessarily to change anything, but it's just to get the streamer to be aware. Because, what's the big thing about being a streamer, right? Is knowing your audience, knowing what they like to see. You don't necessarily cater to every need that they have or want that they have, but you do your best to, try to give them some enjoyment out of it, right? So why could this help out a streamer? Well, as a streamer, the only person and opinion that you have to know what's going on in the stream is your own, right? You can say, hey, I think when I do this, people like it. I think when I do this, maybe they don't like it so much. But it's good to get someone else's opinion. It's always good to have a second opinion on something. And, it's good that, you can try to make it objective and they'll like it a lot more. So I've personally done this a couple times for some streams. And, I like to think that they've liked it a lot. But nonetheless, I think they've learned a little bit about their stream to know what's going on in the channel. So what do you put in a stream analytics? We're going to focus on two different things. You're going to focus on number one, viewer count, and number two, chat reactions. So the first one is more for a short term. You're going to say, at this point, when you were doing this or this happened, you had this many viewers. And the chat reaction thing is going to be more for the long term, right? You're going to say, people really enjoyed this, so they're going to keep coming back to the stream. Or maybe they really didn't enjoy this, but, they're watched the stream because they hope you'll go back to having good moments. It's very important because that determines the long-term, longevity of your stream. So under that, what are you going to talk about? Well, the first can definitely be time. The early time of the day. Maybe 2 o'clock versus 4 o'clock. There's just a difference, right? Maybe from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock is very different because people are coming home, or maybe certain streamers are ending their streams and their chat funnels to you, right? Those are very important things to note because it's not necessarily the streamers doing anything differently, but it is what it is. The second thing is what kind of game they're playing. So let's say you have someone plays a bunch of different games. Maybe the chat enjoys a certain type of game that this person plays. So it's very important that you talk about each game individually, not necessarily comparing them, but individually, and talking about, hey, this happens when you play this game, when this game, when this game. And even if they only play one game, let's say they only play, League or something, maybe it's the type of role that they play. Maybe people want to see them play a carry role instead of a support role. You would talk about that. Or maybe it's, Counter-Strike and they're playing a different game mode. Maybe it's demolition versus competitive, because, a lot of people don't really like watching demolition, but they like watching competitive. And, the streamer might not be aware of this, right? They might just be having fun playing the game, playing what they want to play, and it's not necessarily what people want to see, and it's just to let them know what happens and to know what people are reacting, how they're reacting, I mean. So another thing, a third thing, could be the type of people they're playing with, and this can actually be very big. So a lot of times when someone is playing with someone, they're gonna just be having a lot of fun, they're gonna play the game and not really care about what's happening in the chat, right? It definitely happens a lot, and this could be someone that the chat likes or someone that the chat doesn't like. And a lot of times this can cause people to leave streams just because they don't like the person, and the person might not be aware of this. So you want to note down, when you play with this person, this person, this person, reoccurring people that keep coming back, because a lot of people might not like them. And I'm not saying that the person should never play with them again, but maybe you limit the time on stream that you play with them because a lot of people just aren't having fun. So there's a couple examples of things you can write down. Each one is stream specific, definitely, and there's a ton of other factors you can talk about. But I just hope that maybe you'll start doing this for some people because it can really help them out a lot. Because a lot of people are lost when they stream. They don't really know what's going on. They just do something and hope that it works and that people enjoy what they're watching. They don't necessarily note down things. So if you're interested in doing something like this for someone, definitely ask first because you don't want to go through all this time of typing all this stuff out just to have it be worthless and them not even look at it. Then, if they say, sure, that sounds cool, thanks for doing that, because, they're going to really enjoy that you're taking an interest in the stream, and they're going to enjoy the fact when they read it to learn a lot of information. Then once they say yes, maybe watch, all the streams for a week straight or 2 weeks, however long you need to gather information. You're gonna want to like maybe watch the VODs too if you want to see chat reactions, but you're gonna want to keep noting down when viewer counts change and what's causing it to change and what's happening to the reactions in the chat and what's causing that. Because some streams really strive on positivity, so they want to see a lot of people having fun, whereas some are more trolly and they might want to see a lot of what faces. Those are classified as what face streams or Dan's game streams, right? So maybe it's a trolley stream, and when you're really trolly, people are really liking it, and you notice the chat reactions, they're really good. There's a lot of what faces in the chat. That's really good for you. So it's just really good for people to understand that streamers can sometimes not know what's going on, and just helping them a little bit is a form of support. So have fun doing that.